everyone, this is Coach. I welcome you to this new episode. I think this is the first episode in 2023. I am really sorry. It's been a busy year for the first half of the year, and I can guarantee you that going forward I will be doing a regular update, especially now that there has been some changes in Australian student visa system and that of other migration stream. And this episode I'm dedicating it to the very key changes that has happened in this new financial year. In Australia, the financial year starts from the 31st, or let's say the 1st of July every year, to the next year, the 30th of June. So that means that at the end of June this year, starting from 1st July this year, there has been some changes in everything from policies to migration policies to other policies that you may be aware of. So I'm dedicating this episode to give you a very quick update on the changes that has happened so far, those that are really beneficial to you, especially in terms of student visas and in terms of direct migration to Australia. So please stick with me, and I'll be back shortly to get started with these updates. But if this is your first time, please subscribe to my channel. My previous episodes, I've touched on so many ways that you can travel to Australia aside from coming to study. You can also travel being a teacher or being a nurse. But this one, I'm dedicating it to both students and other workers that I will be explaining. So please stick and stay and subscribe. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back everyone. This is the Coach, and if this is your first time, welcome, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you are a subscriber already, welcome again. Please like my video, send every question in my comment section. You can also get in touch on WhatsApp, which is on your screen, or you can leave every question to my email, which is also on your screen. Guys, let's get started. So this year on the 1st of July, which has been like how many days ago, like 1 week ago, the start of the new financial year in Australia, the government announced some important updates in terms of student visas. Now, let me start with the student visas. Everything that I'm taking you through, I'm going to leave a link to the Department of Home Affairs. This is the official website that you can trust. So I'm going to leave the link to all these updates that have happened from the Department of Home Affairs on the in the YouTube description page, where you can access and read it on your own. But I'm just going to run you through it quickly. So first of all, in terms of student visa, one of the changes is that the visa application fees are going to increase by up to 6%. So from student visa to graduate visa to partner visa, all the visas, the fees are going to increase by around 6% or so. Please get ready to increase your budget when you are thinking of applying for a visa to Australia. Think of increasing your budget because the visa fees have changed, or the cost of the visa fees have changed, and they changed from the 1st of July. Now, the second thing is, in terms of Australian student visas, you still can apply to study in Australia. When you come here, you have only, previously you had 20 hours in a fortnight to work. Now it's increased to 28 hours. So that means that in 28 hours a fortnight, or let's say it's a total of 40 hours a fortnight. So previously it was a total of 40 hours a fortnight. Now it's increased to 48 hours. So yeah, it's not 28 hours, it's 48 hours a fortnight. Previously it was 40 hours. Now, before the COVID hit, it was 40, now it's 48, except for people or students or temporary residents who are working in the aged care industry. For these workers, you still can keep working as a full-time worker. So what it means is that you still can keep working full-time, let's say Monday to Monday or Sunday to Monday, and that is the full-time work. It's around 70 to 78 hours, and so this is up to all these people who are working in the aged care sector as carers, disability support workers, and then nursing in assistance. Now, this good news means the importance of working in the aged care sector, or maybe let me put it this way, the importance of the aged care sector to the Australian government. The aged care sector is one of the biggest sectors in Australia because of the number of aging population in Australia. And so there are heaps of aged care organizations, heaps of aged care centers, and heaps of residential and home care sectors. What it means is that there are lots of companies, lots of organizations that are also looking for people or carers who will work in this industry or organizations. As a result, first, the government has allowed international students, especially who are on limited work hours, that is, as I said, 48 hours a fortnight, to keep working full-time. So what it means is that international students can continue to work full-time only if you work in the aged care sector. Another good news for international students is that they can be sponsored by these organizations or by these sectors or industries. Now, this also has been extended to people or workers overseas or overseas workers. What it means is that if you're watching me from any other part of the world aside from Australia, you can apply to work as a carer, as an assistant in nursing, as an aged care personnel, or as a disability support worker in Australia without coming to study. So that means that a company or an industry or an organization can sponsor you to come here to work directly in the aged care sector and leading you to permanent residency. So that is another good thing that has been announced from the 1st of July. Now, this is what you need to be aware of. This is a new legislation or a new policy that has taken effect because of the number of workers that aren't sufficient in terms of the aged care sector. So Australia government needs a lot of people to work in the aged care sector, and so they're extending it to overseas workers. But the sector or the organization in question needs to apply for the what we call the aged care industry labor agreement. So they need to have this agreement with the Department of Home Affairs, or let's say with the government. And once this agreement has been established, then the aged care industry or organization can advertise these roles to either international students or let's say temporary residents in Australia and direct workers from overseas. So it means that overseas workers can now apply directly to Australia to come and work as direct workers. I know that lots of people are aware of the direct worker residency in the UK, in Canada, and other Western countries. Now, Australia has become part of it because they need a lot of people to work in this sector. So now you can apply directly to Australia as a support worker, as a carer, as an assistant nursing, as a disability support worker in the aged care and disability industry, which is part of the healthcare industry. So what are the qualifications? Someone will ask me. Well, one of the things is that you need to make sure you're already in the healthcare sector if you are overseas. Maybe you could be working as a disability worker in your country if you have something like that already in your country. You could be working as a carer if you have something like that in your country, or perhaps you could be working as a nurse, like a diploma nurse, a certificate nurse, or a bachelor's degree nurse. Any of these, you are eligible to apply directly for this particular stream of visa. So Once you have this qualification, which is your key eligibility criteria, then you have to ask yourself, is this employer ready to sponsor me? Because the very first key thing, apart from your qualification or your eligibility, is the fact that the employer needs to be able to sponsor you. So ask if this employer is ready to sponsor an overseas worker, or if this employer has got the aged care industry labor agreement, because without that they cannot sponsor any worker from overseas. So when you're searching for direct worker job, or support worker job, or assistant in nursing job, or disability support worker job in Australia, check if the employer is ready to sponsor you, or check if the employer has got the aged care industry labor agreement with the government. So once that is done, then you are first ready to apply directly to the employer. Once you get that done, then you get your offer, then you can prepare to apply for the visa. And the visa is the temporary skill shortage subclass 482. You can check it out. I'm from the Department of Home Affairs website. Like I said, the visa you apply for once you get an offer from an aged care industry labor agreement organization is temporary skill shortage visa subclass 482. This is the visa that you'll be applying for. And once you're here, it leads you to become permanent resident, or it says that you can also sponsor workers for permanent residency under the employer nomination scheme. So you can also, the employer can also sponsor you under the employer nomination scheme subclass 186. So it's up to the employer which of these visas that they are happy to sponsor you with. But like I said, these key, let's say two key things need to be available to be able to apply for the visa. First, you need to be working in this industry, not directly. It could be indirectly. Like I said, you could be working as an aged care worker in your country if that work is available. You could be working as a disability worker in your industry, in your country, if that is available. Or you could be working as a health professional, especially a nurse. So you could be working as a certificate nurse, a diploma nurse, a bachelor's degree nurse, whichever one you are in the health care industry, so you're eligible. And then the second is to make sure you check with your employer if they have already signed the aged care industry labor agreement with the government. And once that is done, then you apply to that sponsor, or you apply to the organization, and once eligible and they're happy to sponsor you, these two visas are available to you. You can apply for the temporary skill shortage visa based on what the employer wants, which is the subclass 482, or if your employer wants to sponsor you under the employer nomination scheme, which is a direct permanent residency, which is subclass 186. So these two types of visas are available for your employer to help you sponsor you to come to Australia to work with them as a direct worker, a support worker, personal care assistant, or assistant in nursing, or disability worker. So these are some of the few changes that has happened, and those are the ones that are really relevant to you, the student. And this particular one, because I'm aware of a number of people sending me messages to come to Australia to work. So this is another way that you can do it. If you don't want to come as a teacher where you do your assessment, or if you don't want to come as a nurse where you also do an assessment, this is the employer nomination that you can come through to Australia with. So I think it's a good news. It's a fantastic news. And trust me, this sector, like I said, is one of the biggest sectors in Australia. It really pays well. They've got money. It pays well. The minimum wage is really good. And the minimum wage in Australia has also been increased, which is good, because you're not going to get any less than the minimum wage if you're working in this sector. And apparently this new financial year, there is also a push for the aged care workers to get an increase in salary. So that is also something that will be happening hopefully very, very soon. And so once you're able to come, you come and enjoy an increased salary already in the industry. So very, very exciting. And if you're interested, get in touch, send any question, any comment in the YouTube description or in my comment, or you can WhatsApp me, or you can send me an email. Whichever way you want to communicate with me, more than happy to support you or explain further beyond this particular video. If you like this video, thumbs up, just like it, and share this video with anyone you think might be interested. And like I said, leave any question at all in the comment section, to my WhatsApp number, to my email, and we can take it further. This is iCourage. I'll catch you same time next week. I promise I'll be here next week and talk to you more about these the nitty-gritties of this particular visa, because it's of interest to a lot of people, and one of the best ways that you can travel to Australia if you don't want to come here to study. So guys, I'll see you next week. All you have to do is just subscribe to my channel, subscribe, and press the notification bell so you can always get notified as soon as I upload a video. I coach. I'll see you same time next week.